Good morning, everybody. So today is October 8, right? I believe 2020. Okay, so how was your test two? How was the test two? Was good? Okay. So we will have about 2 weeks to publish your test two grades. And you may know that the withdrawal date has been extended, right? Sometime in November. Course withdrawal date without any penalty, academic penalty, was yesterday, but there has been moved. I got an email last night. Okay, that is not my decision. Actually, that decision comes from the university register office centrally. Okay, so according to our schedule, today is October this week 8. Okay, module 6, method. Okay, is nice thing. Okay, it's very interesting topic, method. And if you give attention to method, and if you understand this topic clearly, then you will gain a lot of things about programming. Okay, so you can write your own program, own method, and you can write good programs. Okay, so everybody please give attention. Okay, by the way, next Tuesday, next lecture will be online only. I have my mom's medical appointment at 10:30, 11 actually, so I will join from home. Okay, so people who are coming face to face, do not come next lecture here. Okay, join face to face, join on Teams app from home or somewhere else. I will not be coming next Tuesday here. Okay, so if we go to our resources, okay, so as we see that today we will discuss method, right? So but from the very beginning of our this course, if you even wrote a single program, it's one line program, like hello world program, you are used to using method. We are using method from very beginning. So now I told you many times, maybe several times, can anyone please tell me what is the symbol of a method? Why, how do we know that this is a method? How do I know, how do we recognize that this is a method in our program?
Is it two parentheses?
Yep. So if you find anywhere two parentheses, a starts. Even the linear search algorithm, or even I discuss sorting examples in Java, sorting examples in C#, sorting examples in Java. Okay. So last time in our last lecture, I asked everybody to practice this program. So this program, it has sorting example C#. That means it is a single program. This program has bubble sort algorithm. It has exchange sort, it has selection sort, and it has insertion sort algorithm. And this is our main method or function. And within the main method, we called or we invoked all of these methods. Okay, so not only in this program, but also in all of our programs from very beginning, the programs that says hello world, even the one line single program that says hello world, it says okay, so this is a method. This program This program, this is using a built-in method. Like, how do I know that this is a method? Just after something, we will know later what are these things, okay? And then whenever we say parentheses, a pair of parentheses, this is the opening parenthesis and this is the closing parenthesis. This is a method, okay? Even our main method, main is a method, okay? It has a parenthesis, okay? So whenever we see something with a pair of parentheses, that is a method. So in some books, in some places, you will see this, it has a different name. It has a procedure or it is in function. So you will see the name, the terminology is function or method. Okay, like if we go to, this is Java and it is C++ program. So in C++, in this case, we will see that this is a method. So this is a function. In C++, we will say this is a function. So there is a difference between a method and function is that when a method and when a function is declared within a class, then that is called a method. Whenever a function is declared within a class, then that is called a method. So Java programs and C# programs, these come with a class in object-oriented fashion. So in Java and C# perspective, we will say all of this is method. But in C++, we can program still in non-object-oriented fashion or object-oriented fashion. So far we have not started object orientation. So after 2 weeks in module 7, we will start object-oriented programming. Then you will understand what is the difference between an object-oriented program or a non-object-oriented program. So for C++ people, for now, whatever we say method, you can also say function. Okay. Okay. And definitely all methods can be said as a function. And we said function. Okay. Method is also, all methods are functions, but not all functions are methods. Okay. So as we said, what is a method? A method is a logical combination of a set of statements that is defined to do some pre-planned task. For instance, in our programs, even in the Hello World programs, whatever we discussed in the Hello World program, we call this write line method in C#. This write line method is used to display hello world, just this highlighted part, on console. Console means this black screen. Okay. So this is the method every time. So this hello write line method, whatever you pass as argument within is parenthesis, this argument is string argument, so we need to put in double quote. So that will be displayed on the screen, but without the double quote, without any double quote. So this method is a built-in method. Okay, there are some methods built-in that are frequently used, that are built-in in the library in most of the programming languages. So we call them built-in methods, but there are many built-in methods. There are hundreds of built-in methods, but these built-in methods are not sufficient enough to perform all our tasks. So sometimes we need to declare our own methods. How do we declare our own method? By the combination of some existing methods or just using our new methods in some. Okay, so what is the benefit of using method? Once we write a method and save it, later we can reuse it as many times as we need. So that helps a lot to concise our program, to write our program nicely and briefly. So for instance, these write line methods, it displays these strings on the screen. Okay. So every time we need to display something on the screen, we will just use this call this write line method. So every method has some ways how to call it. So write line method in C# is called with console dot. Later when we discuss object-oriented programming, you will understand why do we use console and dot. For now, remember that this is write line method. It does something. What it does, it prints something on the console. It does not print something on printer. It is possible for you to write some program that will print, that will send your data to a printer if you have a printer installed and connected. Okay, I have that program written, but this is beyond of this course. For now, remember that this method it does a lot of internal things. Okay, those things, how this method works internally, that is abstract to us. Okay, in this course, at the beginning of this course, that we discussed that we will learn something abstract, right? Many things abstract, and we will agree that we will not ask any question. How does this print line method works? In order to know that, you need to study something beyond this course. Okay, but for now, let us be agreed that this is an abstract method, and why do you use this method? To print something. And for each and every method, there are some rules and format. How do we declare this method, and how do we call or use this method? Okay, so in C# we use write line method, and in C++ we use printf. So cout is not a method. It is used like a method. It's a output stream also. So okay, in C++, whenever I find a method, I will tell you. Okay, and in Java, system.out.println, this println is equivalent to in write line in C#. Okay, so when we declare a method, we can reuse it many times, as many times as is needed. So that helps us to concise our program, write our program concisely and briefly. Okay, so there are a lot of benefits of using methods. Okay, so you will see that if we will declare our method, and we will use and reuse our methods repeatedly. Okay, so easy to work at higher level of abstraction. What is means abstraction? We will just declare. If we declare our own method, sometimes we know how it works inside. Okay, but if we use a method that is not our own method, for instance the write line method, we did not declare it, we are using it, sometimes it is abstract to us, hidden to us. We just need to know how to use this and why to use this. We don't need to know how it works for now. Okay, so what is a function? A function, or sometimes it's called method, is a logical grouping of statements, some statements. Okay, the statement should be logical and should be workable. Okay, so a function is called, sometimes called a procedures or a module or a behavior or a member function. Sometimes you will see that these synonyms of a function. Okay, so here in pseudocode format, when you say create these average user num1, num2, these are variables. Okay, and this print, whenever you type in print and it has parentheses, so this is a method. Print is a method over here. Okay, and here we have, although we have an average, but this is not a method. Okay, because Before right before the parenthesis there is nothing. You do not have anything right before the parenthesis. Okay, so this is not a method. Okay, so here just regular arithmetic operation. Okay, so here same thing for average calculation. Okay, so here you see that in this program code, so we are having two numbers, user num1 and num2, and we are having another variables as a average. So every time we want to find average of two numbers, we have to write this number of course. So like this number of course, these three lines. Okay, but now think about that. If we need to use find average many purpose for many times, so should we write this code again and again? No, we don't need to do this. Okay, what we can do, we can create a method or function using this code, and whenever we need to execute this code, we will just call that method. So our life will be easier. We will declare a method one time and we can reuse it or call it many times as it needs. So like these blocks are reused, right? Are repeatedly using. So instead of using these many times, what we can do, we can create a method, all of this common statement, put all of this common statement under a method like name my function, and then later we will call, instead of the whole method body, we will call this my function. So you see that, so instead of these statements, how many lines it has, so these programs is concise and very readable, right? It is small and short. So this is one of the purposes of using function. Okay. So the concept is that we will write a method once and we will reuse it or use it as many times as we need. Sometimes we use our own method, reuse our own method, we declare our method. Sometimes someone may create a method then that we can reuse. So anyway, if there is a method defined, it is easy for us to call a method or to use it as a method. Okay, so making a method is not a good tough thing. Okay, you can easily write your code and make a method. Okay, so now you will see in the next few minutes, maybe 30 minutes, if you give attention, in the next 30 minutes you will learn how to create a method, okay, and how to use it. So please give us an attention. Okay, has anyone any questions so far? Hello, has anyone any question? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So just as I told you, how do we know that this is a method? For instance, here this exchange sort is a method. This bubble sort is a method, right? So after bubble name there is a parenthesis. So within the parenthesis there may have something or may not have something. We will know that what is the difference between if we have something, if we do not have something. So this is the method. Okay, so method call, there are two things we need to learn. First, one of the thing is called method call. Here is method call, and another thing is that method declaration. Okay, the two different things. We have to declare a method or define a method only one time. So this is the starting of this method, and you see that when I clicked over here, it highlighted the corresponding ending line 21, line number 21. So and then line number 21, is the ending point of this method that start on line number 5. So this is an entire body of this method, this highlighted. Okay, so that is a method declaration. Okay, so two things, one is method declaration, another is method call or method use. We will declare only one time, and if our declaration is correct, then we can call it many times. Okay, then first of all we need to know how to declare a method, and before that we need to know what are the elements of a method. How do actually, so far we know what is a method, right? So this is a method, it has a body, it has something, and then it has a parenthesis right after this, pair of parenthesis. So this is a method. So let us know how to declare a method or how to write a method. Okay, so a method contains like few elements. First of is called method header, another is called method body. Okay, method body, sometimes if we do not, if it is not our own method, so it is sometimes we say called black box or hidden to us or abstract to us. We don't know how it is working, how it is working. So for instance, the right line method, we do not know what are the code inside, but if we declare our own method, then we should know what are inside, right? So then method header is the first one. Method header is the main thing. This is our method header. Actually this part, not the entire thing, the highlighted part is our method header. Okay, so method header, a method header contains several things. Here in this case, not that, and this is the method header, and this is the entire thing is method body that I have selected, highlighted here. Okay, so I can put this line in the next line, so this will be better. So this entire thing is the method body. In these programming languages, we are learning C#, Java and C#, Java and C++. A method body start with a curly brace and ends with another curly brace. So the entire thing is method body, and within the body that there may have something with another curly braces. For instance, this for loop or this if loop, if condition, these are their own group of statements. Okay, but this is the method body start line number 6 and it ends line number 21, and this is the method header. Okay, this is the header. A method header contains several things, so we need to know. Okay, first of here, it differs language to language, and as I discussed that there are two types of methods: object-oriented perspective and non-object-oriented perspective. So this is why we are discussing object-oriented perspective. So a method that is declared within a class. See that this class, main class, is declared line number 3, and it ends all the way into our program in line number 161. So all of this code inside, except this using statement, all of the other statements are inside this main class. Okay, so this is the method header. So header contains, this is the public access modifier. Okay, this is static modifier. Another two things is, so for now let us forget about this two. You will learn that later when we learn object-oriented programming. And after that, this is void, this means return type. What kind of value this method may return. If we say void, that means this method cannot return any value. It cannot return anything. Okay, we will discuss this later. And this is the method name. And whenever you see something within the parenthesis of the method, so header, this is the declaration of variables, right? This is an A is an array, integer type array. So whenever we declare some variables in the method header, that we say this argument, okay, or argument variable, okay, or in other language term you can say formal parameter. This formal parameter or argument says whenever we call this method, wherever we call this method, In order to call this method or use this method, we must provide an array, integer type array. So this is, whenever we have something within parentheses in the method header, we say this formal parameter. These formal parameters, a over here, its type is a. It says whenever we call this bubble sort method, we must provide an integer type array. This is the symbol of array, right? We know that, right? Okay, and if you did not have this array symbol, then we say whenever we call this method, we need to pass or give an integer type value, like for instance 5, 10 or something. But here we used array. So this is the method header. Okay, method header contains the method name, it contains the method return type, and it contains the method argument or formal parameter. You may not have any argument. Sometimes you may see a method with blank. That means that method, when we call this method, we do not need to provide any value. Yeah. Okay. For instance, I'm sorry. Sometimes you see that we call this method like this. We may call this method like this. Okay. This means whenever we call this method, we are not passing any parameter, any value, any formal parameter. Okay. But here we are passing a string type formal parameter. So now do you understand what are the elements of a method? Two elements. First of is method header and second one is method body, right? In all of the languages, almost all languages that we are discussing, the method body starts with a curly brace and ends with a curly brace. And there are some languages like Python, F#, Scala, those languages do not use curly brace, so they just use indentation, like on tab, like this. So every line will be indented. Some in Python. Okay, the indentation means, the first indentation means the curly brace. Okay, but we are not discussing Python over here. And method body. So let us go one example here. Okay. So header must be, so whatever we learn, the method header must be the top line and body is the remaining lines. Okay. For example here. So here this top line is our method header. Okay. So this method for now it is public. That means for now remember that this method can be called from any other method. Okay. For any other class. For now just remember this. Later we will learn what is meant by public, private. Okay, and static means in order to call this method, we do not need to create any object. We do not know what is object so far yet, we have not discussed. So for now, remember that for now, for all methods in C# and Java program, we will put public and static. Later you will learn what are these, okay? And int means this method returns a value. After execution of this method returns an integer type value. Okay, and this name of this method is sum and it has two integer type arguments. That means when we call this method, we must provide two integer type values. Okay, and you see that this is the decoration of multiple variables as method arguments. When we declare multiple variables in method argument, as method argument, we must use comma, not semicolon in between. Okay, we must use comma. Okay, and for the another restriction is that for all variables, even they are same type, we need to put explicit type. So you cannot say common integer type over here. It will make an error. Understand? So that is the restriction, or that is the rule, that in order to have multiple variable declaration, you must declare them independently, and there is no semicolon over here. You must use a comma over here. So that is the restriction, and this method body start with curly brace and it ends with. So whatever inside this code is the method body, and the last line of the method body usually be the return statement. So this says return sum. That means after execution of this method, it can return sum. What is sum over here? So in this case, sum is the sum of the numbers between, maybe including this. Whenever you call this method, maybe we will call something like this: sum 5 to 7. That means in that case, sum will be 5 plus 6 plus 7. So it returns a sum. That means sum, this will be an integer value, right? So at the end of this method, it can return sum, whatever the sum is value. Depends on this value, whatever value we pass as an argument. So if we do not want to return any value after executing a program method, then we can do that. In that case, we will not have any return statement, but we will say it here void. If we have return type, instead of return type, we say void. That means this method cannot return any value. That means it cannot, it may have a return statement, I will show you later, but it cannot return value. If its return type is void, it can do a lot of things, whatever you want to do, but it cannot return a value. Okay. So sometime another terminology is called method signature. Okay. Sometime you see that this method, bubble sort method, is declared completely at the beginning of this class, and this method, exchange sort method, is declared again, and this selection sort is declared again, and this insertion sort is declared again. But here, after this, all of this declaration, we started our main method. So maybe we know that the main method is the starting point of our program, right? Wherever your main method is, no matter if your program's execution start from the main method. So this is the first line this program will be executing, not any more other lines. So here, if we have many methods or a method that is large before the main method, then sometimes we may confuse about our program, especially novice programmer. So in that case, like for instance, in object-oriented programming language like C# and Java, we may declare this method after method or before our main method. So you see that our main method starts in line number 6 now, and it ends line number 82. So even we can put all of our declared method here after the end of this main method. So here main method ends in line number 82. So this program will work and it does something, same thing. But you may confuse that. What is the, for instance, at this point, So this is good, this is good. You need to know that this is a built-in method, library method. And if when you come here at this line number 23, you may be confused if you, especially if you get a book code, like written code, okay, on a piece of paper, handwritten code or printed code, then you may be confused. Wait, what is the bubble sort? What does it do, right? So still you do not see the bubble sort. Maybe that bubble sort may be 2 or 3 pages later. 3 pages later, right? After many lines. So you may be confused, where is the bubble sort coming from? This method is coming from, right? So sometime we put this bubble sort method maybe at the top. So now at the beginning you are seeing this, oh, there is a bubble sort method is declared. So now you may be satisfied, oh, there is a bubble sort method in the above, right? But if the bubble sort method was down, so you may be confused. So sometime what we can do, we can declare, especially in C++, it is better to declare in C++. In C++, if we have a method declared after the main method, in C++, okay, one thing, yeah, everybody please give attention. It is difficult for me to teach you these things because it's confusing sometimes. Okay, I'm restarting again. A method in object-oriented programming, a method is good enough even it wherever, no problem, wherever it is declared, but it is declared definitely outside of another method. A method cannot be declared inside a method. So must be outside a method, but inside any position inside the class. It can be, so for instance, it can be before the main method or after the main method. But anywhere inside this class is fine. This is same thing for C# and Java. The method can be declared anywhere within the class, even after the method, main method, where we are calling this, or before that, it works good. Okay, but in C++, it is not the rule. In C++, C++ expects that before you, for this case, C++ is not a object-oriented programming. It's procedural part of C programming, C programming. Before we use a method, it must be declared. So for instance, this program will work good in C++, but if we put this bubble sort, it start from here, right? If we put this to this line after our main method, so our main method is here, right? Main method start in line number 66 and it ends in line number 142. See that? If we do this, so I'm putting the bubble sort method declaration after the main method, and my program will not be executed. It is showing an error. What is the error? In line number 85, it is saying it is using, it says use of undeclared identifier bubble sort. So in line number 83, this is line number 83. I'm sorry, 85, right? It's 85. In line number 85, it is getting an error. So at this point, this C++ program does not recognize the bubble sort method. Compiler does not know what is the bubble sort method because this is not a C object-oriented programming. Okay, so either what is the solution to solve this problem? Either we have to declare this method above this main method, wherever it is used. It is used in main method. Above this main method, here, okay, or if we we need to do at least the method signature over here. Okay, so then if we put the method, even we declare in the below, but at least we put the signature, then this program will work. You see that this is called method signature. Okay. So in our real life, what do we mean by signature? We mean by seeing signature of someone, we justify or testify that something's authenticity, right? We say that this document is signed by that person. That means that person who signed it, it came from his acknowledgement or her acknowledgement, right? Okay, so this is called the signature. So now do we understand the difference between method signature and entire method declaration? This is method declaration. Okay, this is method declaration. And the same method declaration is concise over here. This is not full declaration, but it is called signature. So now I like to ask you a question. Do you understand the difference between method signature and method declaration? Anyone answer me, please?
Yes.
Okay, what is the difference between method signature and declaration? Method signature is shortcut fashion, right? It will just tell you the header line of this method. It will just give you the entire header line of this method, but without curly brace, without the body, without the entire body, it will give you just semicolon. Okay, semicolon is required at method signature. It will tell us that it will tell the main method that, oh, I will have a bubble sort, a method named bubble sort, and be ready to use it. Okay, and then in this way, so if I have thousands or hundred or many methods, right? So in order to make our program readable or concise or to look good, first we will need to give a single line method signature at the top before you use it. Then compiler will be happy, and compiler will know that there are at some other place that is linked to this program. There is another method bubble sort, and it will go there to get the body. In that case, for instance, we can say instead of putting all of our exchange sort method over here, selection sort method over here, insertion sort method over here, we can take all of these outside our main method, and we can just solve. You see that we moved to the end, and we just need to say what is the exchange method. Here is exchange method, so we need to give a signature of this exchange method where at the top. Then this problem is solved. Then selection method. So wherever we see selection method, we need to give a signature of this selection method. Also, so now we understand what is a signature of a method, right? It contains the entire header and ended with a semicolon. This semicolon is must, right? So we have one more error, which is what is called insertion sort. So wherever we see insertion sort method, we will take only the header line and we will paste it here. So instead of this, we will put. So all of these are signature. Signature means this main method. You will understand that there is another method somewhere in this program, bubble sort method, that will be used. And how do we call or use this method? Whenever we use this method, we need to pass an integer type array and another length, integer type length value. So these are called method signature, right? You understand? So in method signature, it must end with a semicolon, okay? So semicolon is must. Okay, do not forget this semicolon. If you forget this semicolon, our program will make an error. If there is a semicolon missing, then it will expect for a body. How do we put a body of a method? Within parentheses. Sorry, within curly brace. So even it is empty. So if you give curly brace, then you cannot give semicolon. So there are these two things are contradictory. Okay, so curly braces and semicolons are contradictory to each other. If you give semicolon, then you cannot give curly brace. If you give curly brace, then you cannot give semicolon. Okay, curly brace means this body, because complete decoration, implementation. Okay, and if you say semicolon, this semicolon, that means this is a signature. I'm just giving a shortcut notation. So now we understand what is the signature of this method. Now we understand what is the signature of a method.
Yes.
It's the header line, right? It's the header line that is ended with a semicolon, right? That is the signature of it. Okay, for C++, we must give a signature of a method before you use it, if the implementation is not declared there. But if you put the implementation, whole implementation over here, so it will get the signature by default. Okay. Now, this is the slightly different in Java and C#. In Java and C#, for instance, if you declare a method, I told you that in Java and C#, you can put a method anywhere within class, no matter whether it is before the method you are using. So my main method is here. So even I can put this outside of main method. Still it will work. Do you recognize why it is possible to put anywhere and it will work? Anyone can guess?
Compiler will check it for you.
How compiler will know it? Because they are same family, right? A class kind of family you can consider. So a family, an ideal family, in an ideal family, all members should know each other, right? At least the private information. If I do not know my brother's name, it will be funny, right? If I have another sibling and if I do not know his name at least, so that means I'm something wrong with me, right? So in a class, you can consider as a family. So a class, anywhere, you can declare a method. Okay. So in that case, we do not need the signature explicitly, but it is okay if you give the signature. So still, if you get the signature, then still is okay. Oh, in some languages, it's giving an error, right? Okay. Okay, it says that, okay, it does not allow because it says that is already defined. Okay, so since in same class they don't need signature. Okay, and even the same thing will happen in C#. We have methods, the insertion method, anywhere. Some languages, okay, like some languages, it's not showing error, but okay, but it does not show error. This compiler does not show error, but it is compile time is showing error. You see that is not needed. Signature is not needed, okay, because that is same family, right? If it is same family, then no signature is needed. If it is from another class, then a signature is needed. So I spent a lot of time. So method signature is needed if an element is method is coming from another family, another class. Okay, or especially it needed in C++. It is not required in C# and Java. So actually this is the whole body. Okay, the method signature will be only this part. So where I see. So here is the method signature only this part, but it needs to be a semicolon. Okay. And then the most important, another important things of a method is called return type of a method and return statement. The return type and return statement of a method are very important thing that we need to understand. Okay, if you understand the return type or return statement of this method, then you will understand a lot. Okay, I want to give a 2 minutes break, but I want to ask you, except the return type or return statement, do you understand everything or most of the things that I discussed so far?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a 1 minute break. After a 1 minute break, I will discuss. Just take a break. Okay. Okay, return type, let us recall, in order to understand return type of a method, we need to just recall what is a method. A method is a logical combination of some statements, right, that perform something, right? That so if some methods can, all methods do at least something. Okay, and the question is that what will be done after the execution, what it will do after the execution. Okay, so some methods can return a value after its execution, especially normally the return statement be the last statement. Usually the return statement be the last statement of the program. If you return from a program, it cannot do anything else. Return means completing the execution of this program or holding the execution of program and go back. Okay, some programs, some methods can return a value. If we do not want to return a value, then just put the type void. Void means at the end of this method, I do not want to return any value. In that case, you can say return, in some languages, just return. It's fine. But this statement is optional if this return type is void. Still, it may return or it may not return. Say return. By default, it will be return. Okay. But if you want to return a value, then what we will do? Whenever we need to put a return type. So we know that every value has a type, right? So after, if we want to return an integer type value after execution of this method, so then we need to put an integer over here, type over here, return type over here, and at the end we need to, you see that is showing me an error, return an integer value. Whatever an integer value, no matter, it can be a 0, it can be 10, it can be 1, or it can be -1, or it can be -1 plus 2, still it is an integer value, right? So whatever, if it is an integer value, that is fine. So after execution of this program, it will return a value. What type of value you want to return, that depends on the problem statement. So I may return a boolean value. Boolean, you say. So then I need to return, what is a boolean value? False, true or false, right? I say true, or I may say false, or I may write a boolean expression that will give me either a true or false value. For instance, 2 equal to 1 plus 1. It's not working. It should work. It is showing, so it's unusual. Actually, it works, but we are giving an indirect return statement. For instance, what do you know? 2 is 2 equal to 1 plus 1? Yes, right? So that means it will return a true value. So instead of saying true, directly I am giving indirectly a true value. One can say this way. Okay, almost what do we learn from here? If a method has a return type, then it can return at the end of its execution, it can return a that type variable or value, that type value. Okay, and most important thing, remember that if a method returns a value, then that method can be used as a variable of that type. So this method here, exchange method, can be used as a variable of Boolean type. Or do you know that a variable can be used for further arithmetic operation, right? So if a method returns an integer value, that variable, that method can be used as an integer type, as an, not exactly as an integer type variable after the method execution. So if we say int over here, so then I can say int 100 is an integer value, it is correct. So no matter what is my method does, after its execution, it will return 100. If I return 1000, it will return 1000, no matter what is doing inside. Okay, so but in this program we did not have any returns. But if we want not to return any value, then we need to put void. In some languages, void is default. In some languages like C++, default return type is int. Okay, but Java and C# we need to put explicit return type. If we do not put any return type, then we need to put void. Void means there cannot have any return value. This method cannot return any value, but it may have a return statement. Okay, even it is void, it may have a return statement, but this program will work. You see that this is an interview question. Sometimes you may ask a question, if a method's return type is void, can it have a return statement? I'm asking this question to everybody. Okay, answer to me. If a method has a return type void here in this method, can it have a return statement?
No.
Anyone has a different answer? Someone said no, but I said yes. You see that I already have this return statement. Return statement. Why do you look for return statement? We will look for return statement at the end of this method. So if there is no means that I can put the return at here at the beginning of the method. So then after return statement, I cannot have any doable statement. With a condition, you may have some statement. If then return else do this. But after return, we may not have any. We cannot have any other statement because return just means it will be end of this execution. Okay. So we will look for the return statement at the end of method, not inside the top or at the beginning or middle. So the answer is yes. If recall that I asked you the question, if a method's return type is void, can it have a return statement? I said return statement. I did not say return. Can it return a value? I did not ask that. It can still, if a return type is void, still can have a return statement, but it cannot. So this program is working. But it cannot return any value. It cannot have this. So that means return once means it is returning a value 1, right? It cannot return any value. So now who said yes? So now we should understand that it is. Oh, who said no? Now we should understand that the answer is yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to tell a story so that you remember what is the fact of returning something from a statement from a method. Let me see who are in online. Okay, so I see 35 people are online. So anyone please speak with me. I want to see your name. Who can speak with me? Who was talking a minute ago? Tell me your name, please. What is your name?
Angel Hernandez.
Okay, Angel. So for instance, I'm live with you, right? So I can hear any sound. So if there is a weird sound, a big sound from your side, I may ask you a question. Hey, Angel, what is happening? So go, what is happening outside of your home? If you stay at home, okay? I may ask you, hey, Angel, go outside and see what is happening. Or what happened outside, right? Then you will go outside and you may do two things. You may go outside and see or observe what happened, and then you can come back and be silent. Okay, that is one thing. Or you may go outside and see what happened and give us a report, right? Hey, professor, or hey, class, there was something wrong. This was the wrong thing, right? So two things, the later things you are giving us a report, that means you are returning something, right? After you accomplish your work or your function, you are also giving us feedback, right? So my question, according to my requirement, if I asked you, hey, Angel, what happened at your home, and give us a report, tell us what happened, then you are supposed to tell us what happened, right? You cannot be silent. But if I asked you a question, that hey, what happened, go and see. If I do not require you to give us any report, then you are fine. You can give us report. You can say, hey, professor, this, that will happen. Or you may not be obliged to give us report, right? So that is the same thing from method, return type, and return statement. So if the return statement is void, type is void, then you are not required to give us any feedback or any return after the execution. But if there is a return type except void, any valid type can be returned. A method can return any valid type. Integer type, it can return float type, it can return character type, it can return Boolean type, it can return float table, or any other built-in type, class type that you will learn later. Okay. So if the return type is void, then we can have a return statement, but we do not we cannot have a return type, return value. Okay, but so okay, so now I spent a few minutes. Now do you understand what is the return statement and return type? What are the relation between return statement and return type of a method? You understand, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, this is very important, and if you understand the return type and return statement of a method, then you will understand a lot. What will be the return type of a method? That depends on the purpose of the method. Okay. For instance, if I write a method name average, so what should be return type? Average of two integer numbers or sub numbers. What should be the return type? Can anyone please guess?
Float or double?
Yes, float or double, or maybe float or double should be good, but it may have integer type, right? But rare case. Okay. Okay. So if we want to return a letter grade means A, B, C, D. What should be my return type?
Char.
Character or char, right? But if I have return maybe grade equal to, maybe some professor give A plus, A minus, B plus, something, right? In that case, if there are more than one character, that will be string. Okay. Okay. So if say are you asleep, so what will be return type?
Boolean?
Yes, it will be Boolean, right? I can say that I'm in sleep or no. Yes or no, Boolean. Okay. So get GPA. If I write a method to get my GPA, what should be my return type? What the GPA can be valued? It is say 4.15, right? 3.75. It is a double or float number, right? Okay. So if I say print menu,
String?
you can say string or you can say void. Okay, that depends on it. So if say get student name, what is that kind of a name? Is a string, right? So it should return string value, and we say calculate average.
Float or double.
Yeah, it can be float or double, or even you can say void. So if you do not want to, so when you say get, that means or return, you must have a integer type. For this time, it depends on. You can say void, or you can say a double or float. So double or float, even if you say calculate average, if you do not need to return anything, even you can say void. So but still double is fine. Okay. So these are the answer. Okay, so now what will I understand? So depends what will be the return type and return statement of a method. It depends on the purpose and decoration of the method. How do we use this method, or how do we use this method? That depends on this. Okay. So today, okay, so okay, in next lecture I will discuss variable scope, but today I want to just one more thing in 1 minute. The method's name. Okay, so a method's name is an identifier. So whenever we write a method, we can give any name but not any name. An identifier can be given any name but not any name. So what do you mean by about my tone? What do I say but not any? I can say we can give any name but not any name. Because whenever we have a baby, right, we can give any name but not any name, right? There are restrictions to give a name of a baby, right? If we have a same family member, another baby have same name, we do not give same name, right? There are some restrictions based on religion, like culture. We avoid some names, right? According to our culture, religion, and then other beliefs. And so we cannot give any name for a function. So whatever the name of a variable we can give a name of same name as a method. So, but we must not have any duplicate name, and we should avoid any built-in methods name. For instance, print ln is a built-in method, right, in Java. So we should not give a name of method as a print ln. So in Java, this is the normal trend in Java and C++. The first character of a method will be in lowercase letter. But in C#, the normal trend is that the first character is uppercase letter. So we should avoid any existing or built-in method name. And if we have a name of a variable in a method, we should not give the same name. So name, if we have an existing variable name, we should not give another name of a method the same name. Some languages like Java allows to have the same name of a method and a variable, but we should avoid this. For instance, you may have a baby named Tom at your home, right? You may have another cat or dog named same name Tom, right? But we usually do not have. We do not name our cat or dog same name like our baby name, right? We have a different name. But it's okay, since there are two different kind of objects or bases, we may have different name. Same name for different type. Some languages allow, while Java allows, but some languages like C# does not allow. So whatever variable name we can give as an identifier, we can give our method name, same name. So, but we should choose a good name so that by looking the name of the method, we can guess what is going on. What is the purpose of this method? We should give a good name and within as low, as small as possible, but name should be recognizable. Okay? So has anyone any question so far? Okay, I am giving homework again. This program, like this program, like sorting algorithms, sorting examples in C#, there are 4. So please try this method, this program, because it has methods and it has sorting algorithm practice. So you will get 2 things practice on sorting algorithms and also methods. In our next lecture, we will go through the remaining part of this. So I'm giving you, so please practice these programs and this and this. Before you come to our next lecture, please practice above 3 programs. Okay, that's all for today. Has anyone any question? Okay, and next lecture we will be have completely online. Okay, next Tuesday, and see you next Thursday here. Tuesday will be online. Okay. So has anyone any question from the people online?
I think you just sent those lecture links to the 1322 class, not our class.
Oh, okay. Can you please send me? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. 1322, right?
It should.
Okay.
Our class's one is the one right below.
This one? No. This one, right? Can you send me?
Yes.
Can you send me a text message from your
Yeah.
side? Okay. Dijan, you got it, right?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. My mistake. Okay. Okay, see you next week. Thank you so much. And you have a good day.